We should be good to go. Back in the building, looking all crispy and clean on the screen. Welcome, y'all. Welcome back to another YouTube live stream and another episode of the ClassE Morning Show. I'm Classy of ClassE. Well, we won't say that. Patreon.com/ClassEBeats. Y'all go check out the Patreon. And we're looking all crispy and clean up in here this morning. Hopefully y'all are doing well. Hopefully you guys are excited for a great show. We got a lot to get into. Karen Rena's off today. We are not. We take no days off here. Y'all should know that by now. But before we get into it, I've got to say what's up to the people, man. Shout out to everybody who's in here. I see y'all up in here already showing some major love. We are no days off over here. It's going to be crazy. Shout out to my awesome, amazing Amy is in the building. Y'all know she's up in here showing some love bright and early. We have A Fitz is in here. Slim Life New Jersey's in the building. Good morning. We've got Mr. Brown. Good to see you as always. Kara Hampton's up in here. Taco Tuesday is in the building. Jay Buckmaster's back at it as well. We've got a lot to get into today. We're going to hear from Kid Cudi. We're going to talk about the Diddy trial. We've got some more updates on Cassie and what's going on there. Shout out to Cassie. And then we might actually get into Tory Lanez as well. If y'all haven't been following what was going on with Tory Lanez is in jail for allegedly shooting Meg Thee Stallion, another rapper. It's looking like maybe Tory Lanez was not guilty like so many thought. We might get into that today. I'll have to let y'all know what's going on there. We'll see if we've got some time to get into it. But of course, as always, I have to beg y'all and ask y'all for a major, huge favor. If you could, please like the video on your way in, guys. You guys do so well and such a great job with liking these videos. It takes less than a second to do. It's free, and it really does let the algorithm know that you guys are enjoying the show. It shares the channel, it shares this live stream out with more people. So if y'all could take a second and do that, I would greatly appreciate it, and it really does help us out a lot. Also, I will be reading super chats as we go throughout the show. So thank you to everybody who's already sent in super chats. I need to double check and make sure I didn't miss anyone as well. All right, we should be good over there, but let me get to a couple of these super chats. We've got to start the day with the first super chat of the day. Slim Life, New Jersey is in the building with the 5-bomb. Thank you, Slim Life. Says, let's get it. Much love to everyone. Much love to you as well, Slim Life. And thank you for continuing to be here on the show, continuing to support, give some great insight, and ask some great questions in the chat as well. It means a lot. And I always see you in there showing love. I appreciate you. We've got CPE in the building. Another one with the 5-bomb. Says, happy Thursday, CEB family. Have a wonderful day. Be blessed and make every moment count. One moment at a time. Just take it one day at a time. One moment at a time, 1 minute at a time. I agree. And y'all know we are not going to miss. That's because we take one day at a time. We showed up today. We're here. We're going to do it big. Thank y'all for being here to support too. We've got Kara Hampton with the 20-bomb. Oh my goodness. With the super sticker, she says, you are amazing. Thank you, Kara. You were amazing as well. And I was just mentioning you earlier. I appreciate you always showing up and reminding us to have a great day on purpose. That's my favorite phrase probably ever. I love it. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for the 20-bomb. You did not have to do that. And I appreciate you. Les Cleaver is in here as well with the new profile pic. Les, who is that in your profile pic? Oh my goodness. We need a name, please. Les Cleaver with the 5-bomb says, happy birthday, ClassE. Thank you so much. Be blessed in all you do. God bless you. Thank you, Les Cleaver, for the 5-bomb. And he also says with the 5-bomb, all the ladies in the chat are awesome. Blessed, loved, and appreciated. Thank you. That's a fact, man. Shout out to all the ladies in here showing up and showing out consistently. We appreciate you. Today is not my birthday. My birthday is this weekend. But thank y'all for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it. We're actually going to be doing a birthday live stream on Saturday. So I can't do the song of the night on Friday night. So Saturday evening, we're going to be doing it that day instead. And that's when my birthday is. So thank y'all for the birthday wishes, man. I appreciate it. We'll be doing a birthday live stream on Saturday. So y'all don't want to miss out. We'll actually be live streaming 6 or 7 days this week. Oh my goodness. Because y'all know we'll be here tomorrow. We don't miss Monday through Friday. We're here, and then we'll be here again Saturday night. So it'll be fun. All right, I know y'all are tired of hearing me talking. Well, if that's the case, you picked the wrong day to join this live stream, because I'm gonna be doing a lot of talking today. Because what we're gonna do, as you know, the Diddy trial is not being live streamed, right? It's a federal case. They're not allowing cameras in. They don't want y'all to see the debauchery that's going on in this trial. But the good news is we have several people who are inside the courtroom, and some of them, many of them, are basically giving us a in real time transcript of what's going on in the trial. And the one person who has been the biggest, I don't want to say promoter, but the person who has been consistently putting out great content and great tweets on this is Inner City Press. So shout out to Inner City Press. They were actually featured over on Law and Crime. And what we're going to do is Kid Cudi is up on the stand as we speak. So we're going to go ahead and read through this transcript, and I'm going to let you guys see what's going on in the courtroom, what Kid Cudi is saying, and I'll give you a little bit of background on what was going on with Kid Cudi, Cassie, and Diddy at the time as well. All right, so if y'all are ready, let's get into it. Thank you to all nearly 300 of you that are in the building as well. Shout out to y'all liking the video. Dang. And I also need to make sure that I share this on X so the people know that we're in here. I know everyone's probably taking the day because Karen Reed's not there today, but y'all know we still gonna keep pushing. All right, so let's get into Kid Cudi. So before I get started, I wanted to show y'all this video. Nothing too crazy, nothing too special. We just have Kid Cudi walking in, getting ready to testify, and then we're gonna get into his actual testimony here and see what he had to say about what's going on with Diddy. He's smoking a cigarette, got a man holding his umbrella. That's dope. I want to be that cool one day. So we got Kid Cudi walking into court, and we're going to get into the transcript of what's going on. Again, shout out to Inner City Press for making this available. I'm going to give it to you guys in audio form. You get to see it on video and figure out what his testimony is going to be. A little bit of background on Kid Cudi, Cassie, and Diddy. So Diddy and Cassie were in a relationship. Obviously, as many of you know, their relationship was tumultuous and somewhat, let's say, interesting, to say the least, right? So they had a relationship, Cassie, Diddy, whatever type of relationship you want to call it. I don't know. I'm not going to put a label on it. But Cassie started seeing Kid Cudi at some point during her and Diddy's relationship. Kid Cudi and Cassie, they were interacting. There were things going on with music. I believe at the time there was a movie. Again, don't quote me on that. Either way, they had a relationship. Diddy wasn't happy with it. And it's alleged that Diddy, I don't know if it was him or someone he knew, had Kid Cudi's car blown up and caught on fire. I know. So we're going to hear that testimony from Kid Cudi. He's going to talk about it, and we're going to find out from his perspective what actually went down. All right. So again, shout out to Inner City Press. I'll leave a link to their Twitter in the description of this video, and I'll put it in the comments in the chat for y'all as well. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. So the next witness up is going to be Kid Cudi, or as many of you may not know him as, Scott Mescudi. All right, let's go ahead and see what they say. I'm going to refer to the AUSA. We'll just refer to them as the state. So the state says, we call Kid Cudi. All right. And they say Kid Cudi, as a note, takes the witness stand in a leather jacket. We saw him there, white t-shirt and blue jeans. And we have Attorney Johnson says, what did you do for work? Cudi says, I'm an actor and musician known as Kid Cudi. Dope artist, by the way. And who is this? He shows a picture of Cassie. He says, that's Cassie. We dated in 2011. Who else was she involved with? Kid Cudi says, Sean Combs. What did you know about their status? Cudi says that she and Diddy had some problems and they weren't dating anymore. Stop the cap. I don't know about that one, but we'll let him have it. In December of 2011, did law enforcement respond to your home? They're getting right to it. Kid Cudi said, yes, I had a break-in. Cassie called me at 5:30 or 6 a.m. She said Diddy had found out about them. Okay, so if they weren't dating, why was she trying to hide it? Either way, she asked me to pick her up, so I did. Yeah. Why? She was worried. The state says, what was her demeanor? She was very stressful and worried. Where did she go? The Sunset Marquee. Why? I thought it would be safe, off the radar. Who else did you speak with? He spoke with Capricorn Clark. I don't know who that is. She sounded near tears. What did she say? That Sean Combs was in the car near my house. Brian Steele. Objection. Oh, shout out to Brian Steele. The judge said it was overruled. A little bit of hearsay there. You called Diddy? I did, says Kid Cudi. He said, I'm over here waiting for you. When you arrived, what did the outside look like? It was pretty normal. Any security cameras? Yes, but I found out they weren't working. Interesting. But the security camera had been moved. Did you move them? No, said Kid Cudi. Did you see the inside of your home? Kid Cudi says, gifts were open, some stuff I got from Chanel, and my dog was locked up in the bathroom. Oh, somebody had been into his house. How do you usually leave your dog? I let him roam. How long had you had your dog? 3 years. What changes were in the behavior of your dog after the break-in? Jittery, on edge all the time. I got back and I called Sean Combs again. I was looking for him. I wanted to fight him, you know?
Stop the cap.
All right now. Did he answer? Yeah. He said, I'm on my way. I thought to myself, objection. The judge says grounds, non-responsive, overruled. And this is Brian Steele. So Brian Steele is going to do cross-examination here. Ask a question, says the judge. When you saw Cassie, how did she seem? She seemed depressed. Did you see Cassie in Connecticut? Yes, she needed it. Did Mr. Combs call you? Did Diddy call you? Yes, he hit me a few times. Hit?
Hey, yo.
He called me. All right, relax. And what did you say? That I didn't want to talk to him. He broke into my house and hurt my dog. Did you and Miss Ventura break up? And he said, oh yeah, I did. What about your car? My dog's babysitter called me and told me my car was on fire. They say, where were you when this happened? At a relative of my ex-girlfriend. Where did you go? To my house in 8925 Hollywood. All right, hold on a second. I think we might be missing some of these. So let me go this way. Here we go. It says, what about your car? My dog's babysitter called me and told me my car was on fire. Where were you? All right, we're good. Said, at a relative of my ex-girlfriend's. Where did you go? To my house at 8925 Hollywood Hills Road. And then the state says, let me show you 6 pictures. Do you recognize these? Yeah, he said, there's my Porsche. Cudi also says, that's the damage to my Porsche from the Molotov cocktail. Oh, so he didn't blow up his car technically. They're saying that he took a bottle, put some accelerant in it, hung a rag outside of it, lit it on fire and threw it in his car. That's crazy. The state says, who took these photos? Chip, a good friend and collaborator. What's depicted here, he says the state. The hole they cut in the roof of my car to put the Molotov cocktail in. The state says, what was your reaction to your car being set on fire? Kid Cudi said, what the Objection, says Brian Steele, overruled. The judge says, let's take a break, okay? So shout out to the judge for taking a break. They took a second. And again, shout out to Inner City Press. Y'all make sure you go and support. I'll definitely be supporting. All right. So before the jurors came back in, the judge says, will you finish this witness today? The state says yes. Though the cross of Mr. Kaplan was three times long that we thought. And now the jury is entering. And then we continue with the questioning of Kid Cudi. The state says, was the damage on your car present before before the call from the dog sitter? No. Did you think it was accidental or intentional? Intentional. Where did you last see Miss Ventura? Where did you last see Cassie? At the Soho House, Cudi says. I reached out to Diddy and said, let's talk. This is getting out of hand. Yeah, man, Cudi said he was about that smoke. Cudi was not about that. He probably knew how powerful that Diddy is. I don't know how you want to say it. He's like, hey, man, I'm not trying to do anything crazy. Brian Steele, of course, he says, Your Honor, can we have a sidebar? Do you have an objection? Brian Steele says yes. The objection is.
And so what we have ultimately.
Shout out to Keith Adams.
There is no evidence. None.
Brian Steele says, yes, there is. The judge says sustain, disregard, and moved on. Who set up the meeting at the Soho House? The state asked. D-Rock and my manager. What was Mr. Combs doing? Kid Cudi says, standing there like a Marvel super. He said Diddy was standing there like a Marvel supervillain, and then he laughs. He said we were homies. You know that is my girl. So Diddy told Cudi, hey, you better back off, man. And what did you say, Kid Cudi? I thought you had broken up, Kid Cudi said. Then Diddy offered me some water twice. Oh, no, I wouldn't. Hey, would y'all take the water? After messing with Diddy's girl? Wouldn't be me. Kid Cudi says, it was weird. Diddy was being so calm. What did Cassie say? Kid Cudi says that we have fallen in love. Things happen. The state says, what did Diddy what did you say to Mr. Combs? What about my car? He said, I don't know what you're talking about, and walked away. The state says, did you see Diddy later? Cudi says, a few years later, also at the Soho House, he said, I'm just sorry for all that BS. I was surprised, so I found peace with it. Interesting. The state says no further questions at this time. The judge looks at Brian Steele, says, Mr. Steele. So here we go with cross-examination. This is going to be interesting. Brian Steele says, I want to ask you some questions about your Porsche in 2022. Cudi says 2012. Brian Steele says, I apologize. You get a call about the damage to your vehicle. Any surveillance photos? Kid Cudi says, no. My dog's babysitter did send me pictures of the damage, though. Brian Steele says, the DNA taken. Are you aware it came back being female? Oh. The state says, objection, no foundation. Sustained. Do you know there were DNA results? The judge says, I'll allow it. Kid Cudi says, no, I did not know that. Brian Steele says, Cassie told you it was over. Did she not? Kid Cudi says, we just stopped talking. So somebody got ghosted. We don't know who it was. Brian Steele says, you told this honorable court and this jury that she played you. Yes. Brian Steele said, she played you and you had no clue. Kid Cudi said, no clue. Also, Brian Steele says, in 2011, you went on the tour, right? Yes. 65 locations? Mm-hmm. At that time, Diddy was an icon, fair to say? Yes, says Kid Cudi. You and Mrs. Ventura had a sexual relationship? Objection, says the state. They went to sidebar. I don't know why is there an objection. I mean, if they had a relationship, they had that type of relationship. So we come back from sidebar, as they call it in Massachusetts. Kid Cudi says, Mr. Steele, can I? The judge says, no, you can do that on redirect because he wants to give clarification, it seems like. And Brian Steele says, do you want to tell me something? Kid Cudi says, Diddy asked me about doing a song with Cassie in 2010. Interesting. And Brian Steele says, thank you. Let me see if we have, because that was just 1 second ago. So I don't know if we're going to have anything else from Inner City Press. But I want to go back and review a little bit of this testimony because this is wild. I didn't see where he said that Cassie played him. Here we go. I think we missed some of this. So that's Kaplan. We got Kaplan in here. We've got Kid Cudi. And I'm going to keep going through this as we get more updates here. Let me see. We came back from Sidebar. Brian Steele says, thank you. And then that might be it for now. That's all we've got so far because that was literally 30 seconds ago. So again, this is going to be interesting. Shout out to Inner City Press. We may just go through the rest of this testimony at a later date, but tell me what y'all think about this so far. It was interesting to see that not only was Diddy asking for them to work together, which if that's true, this would be the second time Diddy got someone or hired somebody to work with Cassie and they ended up in a relationship. It's kind of crazy, but I guess with the nature of the freak offs, I mean, it seems like that's something that they were into or did regularly as well. Either way, we'll continue the rest of this testimony. Y'all make sure you look out for it. Let me know what you think so far in the comments and in the chat. Yikes. I got to read some of these, comments too. We say, I wish we could see the video of it. He came to court smoking a cigarette, looking stressed. Yeah, he did. We also have Libby says, I thought we were listening to Brian Steele at first. Sorry, Slim. I guess it's Steele now. Yes, that was the state that was asking that. Oh, wait. Is this a transcript from court? Is that Brian Steele? Okay, so now y'all know where we are. What else do we have in here? Libby's in the building too. Oh, breakfast was amazing. Shout out to Amy. What else do we have? Oh, and thank y'all for the happy birthdays in here too. I appreciate you. We've got 300 of y'all in the building and all of you have liked the video. Thank y'all so much, man. Slim Life just gifted 5 memberships. If you got a membership from Slim Life, take a second and make sure you say thank you, please. She's always in here showing love, always showing support. Absolutely amazing. Also, Amy's dropping a link in here. So when Amy drops a link, I gotta see what it's about. Thank you for that support, Slim Life. It is, uh-oh, where'd the link go? Oh, she's dropping the, oh, okay. You're dropping the indictment for everybody. Yeah, Amy just dropped a link to the indictment for y'all if you want to see it. I reviewed it on a couple videos ago. I can't even remember how long ago that was. But I reviewed it a few videos ago. So if y'all want to go look for that, you can find the full breakdown of the indictment right here on this channel. You can use the search bar to find it. I want to see, because I want to keep going through this because this is crazy. I want to take a second and see if we have any more from Inner City Press. Let's see. So they took a break. We've got this section. You went on tour, 65 locations. Yes. You can do that on redirect. And then he said Diddy was trying to hire him. Okay, here's another update. So I'm going to save this and we're going to review this a little bit later. Let's go ahead and keep it moving. And we might actually, what I might do is we may actually just come back to this a little bit later. But I want to keep the show moving because y'all are in here showing major love, showing up and showing out. And I appreciate everyone who's in here. So we're going to talk a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit more about Cassie and what she had going on. She got done with her testimony a couple days ago, and I wanted to go back and review some of the things that were said. We're going to check out this video from Law and Crime and a couple of people they had at the scene listening to court, and we're going to hear what Cassie had to say about these freak-offs. It gets wild, y'all, so get ready.
We are doing our best to be respectful of what is happening in that courtroom, but also at the same time relaying the proper information to you. Elizabeth, I know my time with you is limited. I know you have to go back in there, so I want to ask you real quick, what were the highlights of the cross-examination, and also what is the tone by which the cross-examination is being done? Is it combative back and forth? That's the thing we can't get from the transcript right now.
Yeah, as far as the cross-examination goes, for the most part, it seems very casual. We were thinking that it might be aggressive, it might be combative, but for the most part, Cassie has been very forthcoming in answering these questions. You know, she's showing, Ana Maria Estevao is showing her text messages and email chains and BlackBerry messages from 2007, from 2009, where Cassie is confessing her love to Diddy, or she is asking for a freak off,
She
or
still
she's,
loves him.
Asking, about just more intimate details from her relationship with him. Because to your point, Jesse, a lot of this stuff, some of these messages that we did see in court today were very graphic in nature. And so, the questioning was starting out about the relationship between the two. When it first started out in around that 2007 time period, around that 2009 period, that's when the questioning at the beginning of it kind of all started. And you would think that would be, an aggressive moment or a combative moment, especially as you're seeing messages that say, I'm a very lucky woman, I miss you, and I'd fly wherever you need me, I love you. And then you see Diddy respond, I love you so much, it makes me cry. And then Cassie writing back, you hungry pop. But I'm thinking, just from my perspective.
Oh no. Hey, how are y'all? Let me know in the comments about this. Are y'all still feeling the same about Cassie after hearing this testimony from her? After hearing how much she really didn't want to leave, and then she showed that through her actions. What do y'all think? This is weird, man.
Perspective that around those time frames, she was still relatively young. For the most part, she was in her early 20s. She was also asked about a previous relationship she had with another music producer named Ryan Leslie. And around this time frame, the defense was kind of saying, when you started dating him, you were 18, 19 years old, and he was 10 years older than you. And asking, with respect to Sean Combs and with respect to Diddy, asking whether or not, that her entire world opened up because she was dating this man at this time period. Because remember, around that time, Diddy essentially reigned king amongst everyone. And so a lot of the questioning was a lot of messages that were shown today. A lot saying, I love you so much. It made me feel like I can't wait until we just don't care anymore. And by saying we don't care anymore, that's about, her just wanting to be open and public about this relationship. You see Cassie say, Pop, I really miss you. And Diddy responding in these messages.
Yo, this Pop thing is so weird to me. It's so weird. I know a lot of y'all said in the comments that you've called your grandparents or your grandfather Pop. This is a super strange relationship from the start. It seemed like Cassie had some other things going on, especially she was with Ryan Leslie first, allegedly when she was 18, 19. It's possible it could have been before that. I don't want to put that on Ryan Leslie. I'm just saying it is what it is. Weird, man. Weird.
Just me too, baby. Damn, I can't wait until I see you. You see a 2010 message where Cassie says, so you hung up. It's like I need to have something written out to say to you with no breathing room or you'll get mad at me. I haven't talked to you at all. I know you have 3 minutes because, around this time he is running a bunch of businesses. He's going to board meetings. He's traveling across the country. But it seems like, Cassie, from her point of view, just by reading these messages, that you could kind of tell that she was just somebody, at least from my perspective, somebody that was young and in love and just wanted her boyfriend around that time. I will say, as far as just kind of the tone in the courtroom today, this was a day many of us were waiting for, because it is the cross-examination. We were wondering what the defense is going to try to poke at with, kind of maybe discrediting some of the claims, especially the claims about whether or not this was consensual or non-consensual, whether or not Cassie initiated wanting to do these FOs, or whether it was, Sean Combs who initiated and wanted to do it and made her, gather these escorts, and we haven't gotten too far into the testimony. I will say one thing today, Jesse, and some of the arguments that we had heard, even as I was leaving the courtroom just to come out and do this hit with you today, is that Cassie may be on the stand well until tomorrow as well, too, still in cross-examination, something that the judge was a little like, whoa, what are you guys talking about? You guys told me that you would be wrapped up today or possibly tomorrow, and the defense said today that they still have so much more to go over, to the point that this could drag into Friday and possibly even spill over into Monday if they have to do redirect or even have to do recross. And so that was something that they were ironing out as soon as the lunch break hit, right when I was leaving to come out here to speak with you. And so it seems like they still have a long ways to go into this cross-examination. There were times that I was thinking maybe that this would get combative, maybe Cassie would get mad or angry or anything like that. I saw none of that. She was, again, very forthcoming, answering her questions in the courtroom, still very soft-spoken, even when those graphic messages were shown inside the courtroom, even as she had to read some of these, and these are very sexual in nature. Some of them I'm not going to repeat here on air, but for the most part, when she was answering the question, she still kept the exact same tone that she had even during her direct examination. As for Ana Maria Estevao, excuse me, I mispronounced her name earlier when we were talking about her, but even when she was asking her questions, it was a little kind of messy at times. I was kind of like, is she just going to ask a direct question? And Cassie was like, can you repeat that? Can you rephrase it? And then there were a lot of objections during the line of questioning. One thing I did note is that I'm a little surprised that Ana Maria Estevao is actually doing the line of questioning, because from what I can see of her, she's conferring a lot with Tenny Garagos during this line of questioning, whereas with AUSA Emily Johnson, when she was doing her direct examination, as far as, Maureen Comey, as far as she was participating in that, she was just, handing her sticky notes from time to time.
That doesn't matter. I mean, each team is different. So how someone handles their cross-examination, if they need more assistance, I don't think that looks bad on them.
She would sit down. It wasn't too distracting, kind of like it is a little bit between the defense table, just kind of going back and forth. You see Diddy at the defense table. He is, again, participating in his defense. He's very much eyeballing these exhibits. Amazing. He's writing notes down. He's conferring, with Mark Agnifilo and who's sitting right beside him, who normally sits kind of at the end of the table, but for today he's sitting right beside Diddy. And so that's pretty much the big sticking points that I'm definitely seeing with this cross-examination so far. And again, we still have so much more to go, according to the defense. They're not even scratching the surface yet, according to them.
Not surprisingly, I think it was said today, this is the star witness of the prosecution's case. I think the defense, their case, is mostly wrapped up in how Cassandra Ventura appears in front of this jury. So I'm not surprised it's going to take some time. Elizabeth, I wish we had a little bit more time, but I know you have to jump back into that courtroom. So thank you so much. We're going to get you back later on in the day. Elizabeth Milner, great reporting as always. Thank you.
Shout out to Elizabeth.
Thanks, Jesse.
All right, so I want to continue the conversation and take your questions right now about this. I'm back here with Saf. I'm back here with Serena. So one of the questions that we got, and I want to pull it up right now. Let me just pull it up where it was, where we got it. It was a good question. Now I'm having trouble finding it. Okay. This is a question from Jaden Jarrell. I'm going to throw this to you, Safa. Do you think the text messages make her not credible? And when we think about text messages, I'll give you an example. This was one from apparently she wrote to Combs in an email. In order for me to be more open with the things we do in bed, I need to feel safe, like home, like this is my husband, and this is the only man that will ever have this aggressive sexual side of me. When we used to freak off, when we were so in love, there were no questions asked. It felt right, like it literally made sense for the next step in our sex life together. What do you think?
Oh my God. Hey, what do y'all think? Do y'all think she's ever said this to her husband? I mean, we got to talk about it, right? He's well, he might be. Hearing that Cassie was doing the most, and he knew it because they were in a relationship at the time Cassie was still with Diddy. I don't know. These people are weird, man. He probably doesn't even care. That's crazy.
The text messages certainly will weigh on her credibility. I think what we've heard or what we're hearing now through the cross-examination is the defense attorney essentially using these text messages to say to her, well, listen, you again were a willing participant, you continue this relationship with him. And the defense is highlighting that through those text messages and through the conversations Ms. Ventura has been having. But it also goes both ways, because also in those text messages, which there are some ones for the prosecution here, she discusses how he has been physically violent towards her. They discuss the freak offs and a number of other things that really go to show that there was some sort of physical violence within the relationship, threats of force and things like that, which the government essentially has to prove. So the jury is going to determine how credible Ms. Ventura is, and the judge will instruct them on how to determine that. And they will be able to decide whether or not those text messages are consistent with her credibility, and if they either bolster or affirm her credibility or discredit her.
Well, I think Cassie being the main witness in this case, one of the biggest witnesses in this case, and her wanting to be there, willfully being in that relationship for so long, I think it's going to be tough for the jury to see the trafficking in this case, because again, this isn't about assault, this isn't about battery, it's about the coercion, it's about being forced to do certain things. And from what I'm seeing in these text messages so far, it looks like Cassie's like, yeah, sure, I want to be with you, pop. What do y'all think?
I'll tell you what, we did a poll up on Law and Crime. This was the question. After hearing both the allegations and the defense cross-examination so far, who do you find more credible? 80% say Cassie, 20% say Diddy. Serena, you think that's going to be consistent with what the jury's thinking at this point? Or it's very difficult to know because, again, there's one thing how we're listening to the transcript, or at least we're reading from the transcript, versus how the questioning is done inside that courtroom. What do you think?
So much plays a role here, Jesse. It goes in every different direction. First of all, the people who are taking the poll are almost self-selected, right? They're obviously interested and have been following the Diddy case for a long time. They might actually know, your Law and Crime viewers might know a lot more about this case than the jurors do, at least at this point. And so it's hard to say whether it's going to, spill over to how the jury feels. On the other hand, the jury is supposed to be objective. It's supposed to reflect the community, and hopefully the jury is listening very, very intently to all of the testimony, both the cross and also the direct from the prosecution. I do think that Cassie has come across very credible. I also do think that there is a little bit of an uphill battle with respect to these text messages, because they're going to try to say, look, you're saying these things now, but your state of mind at the time was that you were a willing participant.
Right.
We'll talk about the defense and something that Elizabeth just brought up, Safa. Why would it be Ana Esteveo is doing the cross-examination as opposed to Tenny Garagos? Do you have a theory about that?
Oh, absolutely. There's absolutely no way that the defense could have allowed a male to cross-examine Miss Ventura for optics purposes.
Well, Tenny Garagos is a woman.
Yeah, well, and so I guess to the point, and I think what I heard Elizabeth say was what she was conferring, or I think it was Miss Anna who was conferring with other attorneys, but essentially they need a woman to cross-examine Miss Ventura. And the importance of that is because optically speaking, when you have a man who is cross-examining a woman, especially a pregnant woman who is very delicate in nature because of her pregnancy condition, it just looks bad to have a male cross-examine her. So it's not surprising that the defense would have made the decision to have this particular attorney cross-examine her. And I think for optics speaking, that was the right thing for them to do. If they had a male cross-examining Miss Ventura, it would have just looked very aggressive, as if they're pummeling down or combative with a woman who is pregnant and fragile and maybe in the eyes of the jury is a victim. So they're very careful about that.
It's interesting when we talk about her cross-examination, because we have a question here, Serena, from Legs 7K. With today's cross-examination, could Cassie be on the stand tomorrow, or is there a new witness to testify? So it seems the judge said in court, hey, listen, guys, the plan was, you always knew her testimony had to end this week. Now, why that's the case, maybe it has to do with pregnancy.
And it did.
I'm not entirely sure, but what I will tell you is, there is a lot more they need to question her about, and there's a lot more that I imagine the prosecution wants to come back at with a redirect. Why is it so important to have this testimony finished up by the end of the week. Do you think that this is realistically going to end by tomorrow, or do you think this has to extend until Monday? I mean, doesn't the defense and the prosecution have a right to question this witness as much as they need to? This is the star witness in this case.
Yeah, and I want to know what y'all think about that too, because Cassie going on and saying, yeah, I said that, yeah, I did it, but at the end of the day, I felt forced. It's hard to see. Even when we listen to Kid Cudi's testimony, he's talking about Diddy was having conversations. He was moving a certain way. He was trying to get Kid Cudi and Cassie to work together so she could do some other things. No, it seemed like she was just happy being next to Diddy. I'm not gonna lie. What? Seems like she was, why do I need to go out here and work and make all this music and do all this stuff? I got Diddy, I'm good. And then things started to change. She wanted to monkey branch and go to another guy. Didn't work out with that guy. All right, well, I guess I'll go back to Diddy. I'm trying to get out and go to this guy. I'm just not seeing it. Again, y'all have to let me know what you think about this in the comments in the chat. And I see, who was it? ClassE. These situations seem unheard of. They don't, to me. However, I've been in situations mentally, emotionally, and physically that make you feel a certain way, and you don't see his narcissism coming. The Honorable Attorney Kel Bell is in the building. Give you a round of applause. Always appreciate you being here. We always consider who would be best to examine a witness. I agree that a woman should examine her. It just makes sense. Yep. Women in love will do anything to keep their man. They had to end the testimony. She is due to have her baby. Congratulations to her. Let's see. Women in love. I already read that one. But he was beating her in between the whole time. There are so many layers and levels to abuse that we probably can't comprehend. I agree, but he's not being tried for abuse. Cassie let that go. She's like, it's okay. Just give me 20 million. Just give me another 10 on top of that. We're good. I had fun. ClassE, have you seen the testimony of newer witnesses? Yes, Peter. Thank you for being here this morning. We talked about Kid Cudi. He's on the stand right now. And I want to see if we have any more from his testimony. Hold on a second. Let me see if I could find it. Empaths and narcissists attract each other. That is true. And it usually takes a groundbreaking event for an empath to realize their man is a narcissist. And sometimes it takes a groundbreaking event it can go both ways. I'm gonna just say that. Shout out to Artsy. That is very, very true. And I agree with that. But at the same time, Cassie was very well aware of what was going on. She wanted to be with Diddy for a reason, and it wasn't purely just because she loved him. I mean, come on. Yeah, Amy knows what's up. Amy said vice versa. So it's tough. I'm not buying the. I think they're both narcissists, to be honest. It's hero syndrome. It can be a man and a woman. Yes, it can. It's hard when you're young and think you're in love. He should be tried for abuse. He's a monster. Cassie wasn't tripping about that. She got 20 M's. She good. She had fun. Why should he be tried for it? Yeah, Amy agrees. They both are. I agree as well. All right, let's keep it moving because we got more to talk. Stockholm syndrome is a psychological coping mechanism that can develop in victims of captivity or abuse. causing them to identify with and develop positive feelings towards their captors. How do you define, at what point does someone become a captor? Yes, it can be both. Trust me. And a female narcissist works very differently. She's just more subtle with it. Amy says they both are. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think Diddy, if of all that Diddy should have been charged with, he should have been charged with the abuse. But I think Cassie, she got paid and it's all good. Did Usher say that Diddy abused him when he was 14? Not that I'm aware of. Free Diddy. She says she doesn't have any regrets about her past. She is not a victim. We're going to talk about it. We're going to get into more of this conversation about Cassie here in a second, because I really want to know y'all's thoughts about this whole freak off situation. And I want to just look at the freak off situation specifically, because we talk about what happened before and leading up to Diddy and Cassie getting into this really weird sexual relationship. And then we talk about the point where Cassie was wanting to leave and move on and what happened there. But a lot of people, and I don't know if it's just because of narrative, I don't know if it's just because Cassie's a woman, or it's just because they hate Diddy. There's really not a lot of conversation about the part in the middle. The part when Diddy and Cassie were at their peak. Cassie was out there doing her thing. She was making music. She was elevating herself, acting, building relationships, being by Diddy's side, the benefits that came with that. A lot of that gets left out of the conversation. And I think it's interesting to see. Makes me wonder if that's something that the jury is going to even care about or take into account when it comes to how they rule on Diddy's guilt. But I want to talk about it a little bit more here, and I want y'all to let me know what you think in the comments and in the chat when it comes to Cassie during their golden era, I guess, of their relationship, seemingly wanting, enjoying, and sometimes instigating these freak offs. Let's see what they have to say.
Back on the witness stand today. She's been testifying in the case against her ex-boyfriend, Sean Combs. He's facing 5 federal counts, including sex trafficking and racketeering. He's pled not guilty to all the charges. ABC's Rena Roy is covering the trial, joins us now live from Lower Manhattan. Rena.
I don't want this to be messy, breaking up completely. And what I saw is...
Yeah, well, Philip, as we know, Cassie Ventura's testimony has been difficult and disturbing with explicit images and text messages. As you mentioned, the defense is trying to prove to the jury that Ventura had a choice and that she chose to participate in those sexual encounters.
The defense is trying to prove that Cassie Ventura had a choice and wanted to be involved in those encounters. When it comes to the freak off specifically, what do y'all think? What do y'all think? Do you think Cassie wanted to do it like she said, and like we've heard in text messages and we're going to see here shortly? Or do you think she was just there? She just loved Diddy. She just wanted to be around him, and whatever he said he wanted to do, that's what she was going to do to just stay with Diddy because she loved him so much. What do y'all think?
Cassie Ventura on the witness stand for a 4th day in the federal criminal trial against hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs. The defense continuing cross-examination this morning, confronting her with dozens of her own messages, many explicit, hoping to convince the jury she was an eager sexual partner who matched Combs' desires. "I'm always ready to freak off," one message said. Ventura.
Yo! I'm always ready to freak off. Good Lord.
Who matched Combs' desires. "I'm always ready to freak off," one message said. Ventura testified that she had no free will in their relationship and that when she tried to leave one of those drug-fueled performances, this violence captured on cameras at a Los Angeles hotel ensued. You can see Combs kicking and dragging her. But the defense said Ventura's participation in the freak-offs was at times her idea, showing a text message from days earlier that said, "Baby, I want to FO so bad." "You proposed a freak off," a defense attorney said. "You kept asking him." Combs' lawyers were...
Baby, I want to FO so bad. Come on, man. Come on. Cassie. Come on.
Dragging her. But the defense said Ventura's participation in the freak-offs was at times her idea, showing a text message from days earlier that said, "Baby, I want to FO so bad." You proposed a freak-off, a defense attorney said. You kept asking him. Combs' lawyers revealed he overdosed on painkillers in 2012, asking Ventura, were the worst years associated in any way with his drug use? Yeah, I would say. The defense hoping to convince the jury Combs became violent not to coerce Ventura into sex, but because he was an addict. They argue he may have been abusive, but that he's not guilty of sex trafficking. Ventura's attorney is optimistic outside of court.
Doing great. I said she was ready, and I think she's demonstrating that. The facts are the facts, the texts are the texts, and I think that the evidence will be clear as the case goes on and Cassie's testimony goes on, and we'll see what the jury does.
And then, actually, I'm being told they just...
Now, in a letter to the judge overnight, federal prosecutors argue that defense lawyers are trying to purposely prolong their cross-examination of Cassie Ventura, hoping that if she goes into labor, that there could be potentially a mistrial. The defense has argued, though, that they have a right to thoroughly cross-examine the witness. Philip?
Interesting. All right, so we've got a little bit more we're going to get into when it comes to Cassie's text messages. Do those text messages change anything about the trafficking? I'm always ready to freak off. I want to freak off so bad. I can't even say it. I can't even say it. It's so awkward. It changes a lot for me. I mean, initially I said, let's see the evidence. Let's see what comes out when it specifically comes to the trafficking. If y'all have a problem with the abuse, you need to talk to the federal government about that. Diddy's not being tried for abuse, and Cassie seemingly was okay with getting $20 million and seeing what happened with these trafficking charges. With the trafficking, I'm not seeing the evidence here. Let's go into another video that talks about text messages here.
Loved Mr. Combs, correct? I did. You believe you loved Mr. Combs, correct? I did. You believed he loved you too. I did believe he loved me too. Was started as a simple Q&A, turned contentious and X-rated as Diddy's lawyer cross-examined Cassie Ventura. At one point today, the 8.5-month pregnant Cassie grabbed her belly with both hands and asked for a break as explicit text messages about her freak-offs with Diddy were read aloud in open court. Now, Diddy was intently looking at his attorneys as they questioned Cassie about their relationship and had her read some of their old text messages. Cassie confirmed she and Diddy made love after one of those drug and sex-fueled parties that involved baby oil and male escorts.
Show out of Cassie right here, guys.
And she also testified about her decade-long relationship with the hip-hop mogul, which
10
included
years,
this
guys.
steamy TV commercial.
Then the magic happened.
She read exchanges between the two where he called her baby girl and a queen, and she called him Pop Pop. Back in 2006, she had talked about talking with Diddy after he signed her to his record label.
Baby, tell me if you like it. I was so nervous, but we sat down for about 2 hours, talked about my career and the future, and it was great. You know, it turned out amazing, and he's a great guy.
Today, she testified she once told her then boyfriend she couldn't wait until they had a baby of their own. He had 6 kids at the time.
How's your dad holding up?
That's interesting. She couldn't wait until they had a baby of their own. Do you guys, would this change anything for you if Cassie and Diddy had a child together? Would it make it better? Would it make it worse? What if they had a child at the 5-year mark and then they continue their relationship for another 5 years? I wonder how that would change things. Because Diddy, as they said, he had several children. Be interesting to see.
Baby of their own. He had 6 kids at the time.
How's your dad holding up?
Diddy's 3 sons were in court today, along with their 85-year-old grandmother, Janice.
Diddy walked in today wearing a yellowish cream sweater, throwing them that heart symbol that he usually does when he walks in. But missing from court today were his 3 girls.
Cassie's husband, Alex Fine, also came to support his wife. Britney Spears' name even came up in cross-examination. Diddy had brought the pop princess to Cassie's 21st birthday party in Las Vegas. And when asked what was Diddy addicted to in addition to opiates, she said success. I'm here with Brian Buckmeyer, ABC News legal contributor, defense attorney, and host of Bad Rap, the case against Diddy. Now, we noticed that Diddy is looking at Cassie, or he's stealing glances at Cassie. Is she looking his way at all?
Not at all. But she is very disciplined to never do that. And then, of course, when she walks out and comes out of the courtroom, she's maybe 5-6 feet away from him as she walks out of the well of the court, and never does her head turn, never does she glance. She clearly wants nothing to do with this man.
This hasn't been a very expressive jury. What have you noticed so far on day 4?
I think stoic would probably be the best way to describe them. They're clearly paying attention.
Diddy is very attentive as well. You can see he's very involved in his defense.
I think the only reason they broke up is because he didn't want to have kids with her.
Sean Combs pulls the chair up,
jealous.
puts his glasses on, sits up, and is looking through the text messages. He's talking to the other attorneys. He's really participating in his own defense. And I think that's what makes it so interesting, because I think he's giving them the ammunition, the information as to how to cross-examine Cassie.
Yesterday, prosecutors showed photos of Cassie with bruises, black eyes, and fat lips as she testified that Diddy raped her. And Cassie finally put a number on that lawsuit she settled in 24 hours with Diddy, back before he was charged. The amount? $20 million, explaining she decided to testify because I can't carry this anymore. What's wrong is wrong. Cassie's lawyer, Douglas Wigder, called that testimony powerful and has now revealed Cassie is due, in his words, in the coming weeks, but is holding up strong as the trial continues.
And from what I'm seeing from this testimony, it seemed like, again, the only reason that Cassie wanted to leave is because she wanted to have kids. She wanted to spend more time with them, and she was jealous. And we could see that in the testimony. Who knows if that had happened, what would have went on? How long this would have been prolonged? I don't know, man. This being their key witness, as a juror, I'm not buying it. But I think I'm too biased in this case because I know so much. Y'all know we've been following this since Cassie's lawsuit came out and once Diddy was arrested. So y'all will have to let me know what you think and help me out with this in the comments and in the chat too. I have to take a second and shout out Dottie up in here. Y'all, she aced her test. Y'all see her in there? Shout out to Amazing Grace. She was in here yesterday and she aced her test. She got triple A's over there. A+++. Shout out to Grace. Super proud of you. So proud. Man. So shout out to Grace. Thank you for being in here. Always great to see you in the building. Let me read a couple more of y'all's comments and then are we going to get to Tory Lanez today? Ah, man. We might get into Tory Lanez. And shout out to Amy with the super sticker celebrating Grace getting her A+++ over there. Thank you for the super sticker, Amy. I appreciate you. Diddy should have said he loved Cassie. Once she heard him call Kim Porter his soulmate, she was done. Cassie did freak out because Kim wouldn't dare to. How do you know? What? I don't know that. I don't know that for sure. The trafficking evidence will come, says Peter Ortiz. He's already convicted Diddy. Not surprised. Usher did say that Diddy did abuse him when he was 14. Shout out to Grace. Hopefully Grace wasn't in here for that segment, but she heard me say congratulations. There she is. Love you, Grace. So proud of you. So proud. You're amazing. And now you get to relax. Rest up, get well soon. No man should hit a woman with a pan with eggs in it. I agree. Jesus. Yes, Diddy was wrong and nasty, but that's his fetish. It's America. Mr. Brown's in here. When Diddy did that to Usher, Usher said nothing about it. The party began. Also, Peter Ortiz in here with the 5-bomb. The trafficking and RICO evidence will come, obviously. And Cassie and others are showing his lack of morals. Also, what? Peter, what about Cassie's lack of morals? Hold on. So you think that Cassie is showing Diddy's lack of morals, but not showing a lack of morals herself? Please explain, sir. Also, Usher did say he was abused by Diddy. Where? Where did Usher say that? Cassie wanted a child support check for 18 years. Oh, you need a, don't do that. Where did Usher say he was abused by Diddy? Can y'all stop with this, man? Come on. Have they shown videos of any of these freak offs in court? They've shown pictures. I don't know. I'm going to say I don't know. I'll find out for y'all though, because we're going to talk about this some more tomorrow too. I wonder if he is embarrassed, especially in front of the kids. It is what it is. It's his own life. Julie's in here. Good morning, y'all. Classy chat. Blessings to all. Blessings to you as well. Thought he was an usher. Turns out he was an altar boy. Oh, Lord. Hey, yo. And thank you to everybody saying congratulations to Grace. Cassie did freak offs because Kim wouldn't dare to. I already read that one. Usher's mother said nothing about what happened to Kim. I watched that Usher thing last night. Where did he say that Diddy abused him? I remember Usher saying that he saw some things and it was wild and it was crazy, but I don't remember Usher saying he abused him. Kara, oh no, Kara, you can talk. We can have a conversation about it. Peter, you have to talk about Cassie's morals. What's up with Cassie's morals, Peter? You think she was a moral person through all this? I don't know. If you're gonna talk about morals here, then I don't know. Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, oh boy, here we go, has alleged that Diddy abused Usher when he was a child, causing injuries that required hospitalization, according to the Hindustan Times. Yeah, I don't believe anything Gene Deal says. I view Gene Deal in the same light as Jaguar Wright. I'm gonna be honest. So y'all can have that. If you want to take Gene Deal's word for it, be my guest. Cassie wanted fame. I'm confused about what Diddy did. People doing their jobs, strippers traveling, making money, Cassie gold digging. That's what I'm hearing. And Unita Sims is on it. That's what I'm hearing too. Why are we here again? Because some people got upset that from a criminal standpoint, I'm not seeing them. I think they should sue the heck out of Diddy. But when it comes to trafficking, oh man, as an adult performer or an adult certain type of worker, if you go and you participate in a certain act and you get paid for it, and you get paid for your time, however you want to say it, and if you cannot prove that something was done to you that was out of bounds, then I don't really want to hear about it. I don't really want to hear about it, to be honest. Now, say with that what you will. I said this to Amy the other day. You can't cry morality when talking about immorality. When it comes to the civil side, laws need to change. If y'all want to sue him, go ahead. I don't have a problem with that. But this man facing criminal charges because y'all agreed to participate in certain activities and you didn't like what was going on at a later point, or you were scared of him because he was Diddy and you kept coming back and kept participating. Come on, man. Yep, and Amy's talking about what we just read. Kid Cudi says Diddy broke into his home, says he put a Molotov cocktail through the roof of his car to blow his car up. They need 2 factors for this RICO. This is the one they are using for arson. He said Cassie called him earlier that day to warn him Diddy knew about them. Yep, we just talked about that. Arson. Brian Steele said it was a female's DNA in that car. Did they find Diddy's DNA? No, she wasn't. I worded that wrong, but he still is scum. I agree. We're not arguing that. I don't think he's a sex trafficker. With all Gene saw, you can't believe him. Gene Deal, like, oh, come on, man. The man stopped working for Diddy in 2000, but keeps talking about it years after as if he was present. Yeah, man, get out of here, Gene Deal. He's just trying to make some whatever. Yeah, I got you, Peter. I think it was Cassie trying to start stuff and manipulated both of them. Diddy's going to jail, but not what you think. I think Diddy's. I think Diddy's going to go to jail too. And thank you again to everyone that liked the video. We've got over 1,000. Y'all up in here listen to me talk about Diddy? Dang. We've almost got the same amount of people who were in here watching Karen Reed, checking out what's going on with Diddy. Thank y'all for the support, man. Wow. 350 of you liked the video. If we could get another 650 likes, I would greatly appreciate it. Since we got all y'all in here, I wasn't going to do it, but we're going to go ahead and talk about Tory Lanez real quick. So let me do this. The door was left unlocked. Diddy is going to be exonerated, if not by the jury, by Trump. It's just business. Oh, you think he gets pardoned? Diddy getting pardoned would be wild. Oh gosh. Yo, that would be insane. 1,000 bottles of baby oil, also flying a prostitute out, can be seen as trafficking. I agree. And again, if you ask me, is Diddy going to be convicted? As I've said to y'all before, I don't see Diddy beating this. There's just too much. But I also at the same point can say I don't think he's guilty of it. And looking at the makeup of the jury, it's going to be tough. If y'all haven't seen the lead attorney's video on Diddy, make sure you go watch it. He talked about what type of jury he's going to need if he wants to beat this, some of the things you should look for. And it's an absolutely amazing video. But I don't think Diddy's going to beat this. It's going to be so tough to beat. It's a very emotional case. It leaves a lot of things up to debate. And I think just seeing the makeup of this jury, just knowing how people are, how much is already out there about it, I think they're going to lean more towards it looking like Diddy was trafficking. But I don't think he was. From what I've seen so far, I don't think he was. Especially if you continue to doing it and knowingly. Diddy is going to be exonerated. We already read that one. Okay, so the DHS raided his house for electronic devices, and the DA is still working to try him for trafficking. There's got to be some evidence of it. Yep, Peter says it's coming. Read the law about trafficking across state lines. It's not hard to get charged with trafficking. And I've talked about that multiple times. But the jury is going to fry his ass up. I think so. They're going to find him guilty on everything. Unfortunately, I think you're right. It's crazy. Oh, yeah. Amy just posted. She said, want to see Cassie's men toys. If Diddy is guilty, so is she. And I saw someone post a picture of this. Let me see if I can. So this is who Cassie was working with. Hey, yo. Amy says prosecutors in Sean Diddy Combs trial have revealed images of the workers linked to the alleged freak-offs involving Diddy and Cassie Ventura. So here's all the men here. I think one of these guys, which one is it? There's one guy in here that actually went to the police at some point and was saying that, hey, Diddy is crazy. I participated in some things with Diddy. I didn't like what was going down. Somebody needs to get this guy. What happened with that? I don't know. Amy says that woman had opportunities to leave or call the police. She didn't. She willingly kept doing it. And she said she wanted to do it out of her own mouth. She said she wanted to do it multiple times. Yeah, that's what it was, Libby. They said they got hurt. Yeah, I don't want to say that on YouTube. I don't feel sorry for Diddy or Cassie. Did Usher get his you know what from these freak offs? Oh, man. There is a power dynamic that comes into play. Also, that's true. Also, something you may have once agreed to doesn't mean agreement in the future. It's not black and white. It's not a black and white issue is all I'm saying. I agree 1000%. And as we saw with Shannon Sharp, consent it's a nasty thing. When it comes to the legal side, you do not want to get caught up in a consent case. Consent is the biggest gray area I think that may exist in the legal system. Consent is so scary, especially if you're a man, especially if you're a male. So this is going to be a tough one for Diddy. I don't see him beating this. I don't see him beating it. The prosecutor is just building the foundation. Keep listening. The government's not going to prosecute without evidence. How many people have flipped so far? Oh, a ton of them. Diddy's got like 10 plus pending lawsuits. I guess Karen and Cassie are the same type. Oh, don't do that to Karen Reed. Of jealous, crazy bish. Studies show that people in abusive situations are often told no one will believe them. Yeah, but Cassie wasn't abused this whole time. You guys want to point to some situations where Cassie was abused. She was not abused the entirety of their relationship. Were there times she was abused? Yes. But it didn't start out day one. Diddy's like, oh, hey, Cassie. That's not how it went. So you got to remember that too. You got to look at the storyline, which is why I went through the videos I just talked about and saw, okay, here's what happened leading up to it. They got in a relationship. She wanted to work for him. They built a relationship. They got into a relationship. Things progressed. He's like, oh, you bring out this sexual freak in me. Hey, yo. I want to do these things. Oh, we got some freak offs. Freak offs sound like fun. And then it went on and things progressed from there. But this is not this Stockholm syndrome abusive. Oh, she was young. She knew why she was there. And how do I know what? It's all, we seen it in the evidence in the text messages. And Cassie testified to it. I'm just saying what Cassie said. So if you don't believe me, don't listen to what I'm saying. Go listen to Cassie's testimony and read her text messages. She said this on the stand. I'm not saying it. Mr. Brown is in here with the 2-bomb. Have you ever heard of the Stockholm syndrome? Yeah, I think I just mentioned it. Shout out to Mr. Brown just showing love. Initially, she wanted to do it. She was fulfilling his fantasy that went too far. That's exactly what I was just saying. You're allowed to change your mind, which she did. Also, saying she could have just left it's not crazy. It's a fact, is it not? She could have. The abuse started a year after the moment he put his hands on her. It was abuse. I bet it was shortly after they got together. True. It builds in relationships to get to the elevator scene. How many albums did Cassie make? That's a good question. I'm gonna say 2. That's a good question. Cassie dropped. It was 2. She had a mixtape and a studio album. Her studio album came out in 2006. That was Cassie, obviously. And then she had a mixtape in 2013. Rockabye Baby. Yeah, listen, hey, y'all don't listen to what I'm saying about Cassie. Go and listen to Cassie say it herself. You don't have to listen to me. I'm not saying anything. I wasn't there. I don't know. I'm just going based off of what she said in her testimony. She didn't want to be saved. And when she could have, she went back to him and ghosted whoever tried to help her. We've all had a friend like that or a relative, and they knew better, but lived the drama. Well, Diddy going to jail void her 10 album deal. That, if I had to guess, that 10 album deal was probably a part of the settlement in her civil lawsuit. I can't imagine that wouldn't be brought up. And Miles Stat, again, thank you for reminding them. He's not on trial for abuse, guys. So, I mean, you want to talk about their relationship, whatever. But, yeah. Oh, did Diddy unalive Kim Porter? Oh boy. Rest in peace. What if he threatened her and she was scared? We know he had a lot of pull and ability to act on it. That's true. He did have a lot of pull. I just have a feeling that once jurors hear everything, they ain't gonna care. They found him guilty, which is sad. Yeah, I think Diddy's done. I think Diddy's done. One of the guys that was brought up with Diddy just got arrested. Dang, Amy with the sauce. I'm not gonna put it up here. Y'all see the link in there. Go follow Amy over on X. Amy with the sauce in there. Giving the breaking news. Y'all go check her out. I'm not gonna show it. Y'all go follow Amy. You can find her at I Amy Lee. All right. Y'all go show her some love. There was a benefit to her saying, obviously, thereby power dynamic. Feel you have nothing without him. That will be the argument, I assume. Yeah, but the thing is, he tried to help her advance her career. He was trying to hook, well, he ended up hooking her up with Kid Cudi. He was trying to hook her up with Kid Cudi, and there's multiple instances throughout their relationship where Diddy was trying to advance her career. He signed her to Bad Boy Records. I mean, and then they got in the relationship. Every time he tried to help her music, she started dating the artist, and that's how she got Diddy. I guess they charged Witch Hazel to the company card now that it's trafficking. Oh my God. Yeah, and amongst other things, it was the security guards that work for him. It's like, hey, go find some girls for us to party with. Okay. To party with, right? They go find the girls. They bring the girls there. Like, hey, go get somebody to show up tonight for a freak off. And they worked for Bad Boy Entertainment, or they worked for Bad Boy Records LLC. Rico. Does this mean her future albums won't feature Diddy? I'll miss his and his in the background. I see you. Amy says, yes, I believe Diddy or someone had something to do with it. So many charges of trafficking and servitude. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for him to beat. I hope so, because that's Drake's level of work to put out and not get a decent cut. That deal was a trap in itself. All record deals are garbage, unless you do it the right way. Will Diddy be able to take baby oil with him to prison? Oh my gosh. Yo, let him live, man. Dang. Are we going to get to Tory Lanez real quick, y'all? Because y'all have, man, I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you to all 1,000 of you who are in the building. 900 of you have liked the video so far. Thank y'all, man. I know a lot of you came to this channel for Karen Reed. We don't take any days off. We don't take any breaks. We're going to be here Monday through Friday for the ClassE Morning Show. But it means a lot to see over 1,000 of y'all, our regular Karen Reed trial group, in here showing love and showing support. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to this channel. And I appreciate y'all. And again, this is a safe place. We can have differing opinions. We're not going to be disrespectful. We'll have a good conversation. You can say your experiences. You can say what you think about the situation, and we'll keep it moving. I think that's how we grow. I think that's how we build a better society too. So thank y'all. Thank y'all for being here, man. Shout out to the gang. Y'all get me all emotional. Amy says, I'm talking about the 24-year-old man that got arrested. Oh, what does the corn industry get away with how does the corn industry get away with what they do? How does OnlyFans get away with what it does? Like I said, this consent thing, Melody C, is the biggest gray area, and it needs to be fixed, because A lot of wild ish going on. Yes, I came over here because of Karen Reed trial, but I like the interchange here. Thank you, Artsy, for being here. Has Karen Reed pleaded yet? Man, Peter, if you don't stop hating on that lady, let her have a fair trial, man. Dang. All right, let's talk about Tory Lanez real quick, and then I'll probably let y'all get up out of here. Do I have a picture of Tory Lanez somewhere? Yeah, there he is. There's my guy. Shout out to Tory Lanez, man. Those of y'all that believe, can we get the free Tories in the chat right now? Because we got to talk about it. Right? Courtesy of TMZ, we're going to talk about what's going on with Tory Lanez. If you don't know the background here, Tory Lanez, Meg Thee Stallion, and Meg Thee Stallion's friend were at a party. Right? They were at a Kardashian party. They were partying. They go to the car. There was a back and forth argument. Shots were fired. Who knows by who? We look at the evidence in the trial. We've looked at it on this channel. It's not looking like it was Tory Lanez, but it's alleged, and he was found guilty of shooting Meg Thee Stallion in the foot after this altercation in the car. Now it's coming out that Tory Lanez may not have been the one who shot Meg Thee Stallion. We've been hearing rumors about this. We've seen Meg Thee Stallion lie over and over and over again. She's obsessed with this dude, and it's weird and it's crazy to see. It's like this is her only claim to fame at this point. Nobody's listened to her music. She's not dropping music, and she's consistently trying to attack this man. She filed a lawsuit against him while he was in court. It's getting really weird. But some new evidence came out, and it's looking like a security guard may be speaking out about what happened with Meg Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez. Now we have a congresswoman that's stepping in, and she says that there's a video proving Tory Lanez didn't shoot Meg Thee Stallion. Courtesy of TMZ, let's go ahead and get into it. Representative Anna Paulina Luna says Tory Lanez did not shoot Meg Thee Stallion. We knew this. There's a Ring camera video evidence. Oh my goodness. What is she talking about? Let me refresh this page so we can actually listen to the video of her talking about it. She says, Tory Lanez never said, dance, bish, to Meg Thee Stallion. Sorry, y'all. But he did catch a raw deal in the shooting trial that got him 10 years in prison, according to the Florida Congresswoman, Anna Paulina Luna. All right, what is she saying? We'll get this video here in a second. The Sunshine State's first Mexican-American woman elected to Congress joined Harvey and Charles on TMZ Live on Tuesday, claiming there's never before seen evidence that proves Tory Lanez did not shoot Meg after a Hollywood Hills party back in 2020. All right, let's hear what she has to say about this.
Around some kind of the Foreign Relations Committee, and you're from Florida. Why did you take such an interest in this case?
Specifically, how I got involved in this case is I actually am friends with Amber Rose, and she had flagged it for me. And when I actually spoke to the attorneys that are representing Mr. Lanez, they actually presented me with evidence. When I saw the evidence that was brought forward, we're talking about no forensics DNA on the magazine of the pistol, a 0.01 DNA match, which effectively means that he could not have been the shooter, to include GSR. There being ring footage that really refutes and dispels the testimony that, you know, he had basically said dance and then fired the firearm. In addition to that, there also being missing ballistics fragments from the alleged, you know, shot in the foot, as well as medical x-rays. Mm-hmm. All of this does indeed show and prove that Mr. Lanez, unfortunately, is being incarcerated and he's an innocent man.
Is this the new evidence that you had tweeted about? This Ring video, you said there's a Ring video that will refute?
It was actually brought to my knowledge by the attorneys, and we actually had posted that on one of our X platforms, that there's allegedly Ring video footage that refutes the statements and they, I would say, hearsay comments in court testimony.
Have you seen it, and is it going to be released?
I'm actually actively pushing for the release of that, and there's also an affidavit that the attorneys have actually shown me already that actually came from, we will be presenting that and posting that publicly for everyone to see in the coming days.
If I was the appellate lawyer or the lawyer trying to secure a pardon for him or a new trial, and I had a video showing somebody else shot him, I would shot her. I would send that out immediately to the media to create this kind of firestorm. To
then
release
you would get the governor's attention.
Why wouldn't they immediately release a video if it shows? I mean, because that's the smoking gun, literally.
Right.
I
don't know. Again, as I stated, I haven't seen the footage yet. But what I will say is that all of the information that's been brought forward and flagged to us is also going to be presented if it hasn't already been sent to the governor's office. And I would also say that it's incredibly important for people to realize that the body cam footage, which I'm sure you guys are aware of, has also reported, and the initial medical responding doctor at the ER with Miss Stallion actually reported lacerations, and also the bullet fragments are missing, meaning that they don't have evidence. When you have very wealthy people involved, the he said, she said evidence goes missing. I mean, this is all something to me that indicates where there's smoke, there's fire, and this screams cover up. And so what I would say is that people need to be very careful about this, because if this can happen to someone like Tori, it can happen to you guys.
Yep, absolutely. Shout out to TMZ for that. Let's keep it going to see what she said. As to why Florida politician is interested in the California case, Luna says she became hip to Tori's plight through her mutual friend Amber Rose, as we just heard, and she began to dig deeper. She claims she found several inconsistencies in the prosecution's argument. Now, we're going to get into what's being said by Tori's side here in a second. Let me go ahead and load this video up. We're going to play an ad first. While we're doing that, it's a reminder that she correlates Tori's legal team's alleged findings that there was a lack of forensic DNA found on the weapon that shot Meg. And she says there's even a Ring camera video that proves he never pulled a Yosemite Sam, despite a police officer testifying to the opposite in court. Meg lied, and she lied multiple times. Y'all know, you're talking about it in the chat. Meg actually said to Gayle King on an interview that she never had a relationship with Tory Lanez. And then it came out in court that they did have a relationship over an extended period of time. So this chick lied. It's so weird to see, but let's see what Tory's side had to say about this. Shout out to TMZ.
Mr. James informed Unite the People that he was a witness to the conversation Ms. Harris had, where she stated she had the gun. She fired it 3 times. Mr. Peterson grabbed her arm and knocked it down, and the gun fired 2 more times. In essence, Mr. Peterson never shot anybody, never even touched that gun, never fired the gun. This statement aligns with the statement of the only non-party witness to the case, Mr. Sean Kelly, who at trial testified he saw 2 women fighting, 2 men break up the fight, one man grabbed the other one's arm. Gunshots came from the passenger side. Passenger side is where Miss Harris was sitting. This further iterates that Mr. Peterson did not shoot Miss Pete, did not shoot at Miss Pete, or did not assault Miss Pete.
He sure didn't.
It's just another irregularity in a list of irregularities in this case. It is our contention that he was wrongly convicted. And while we at first were willing to let the process play out, it is our contention now that if he is not pardoned or released promptly, he may never come out. And that would be the ultimate injustice.
I really hope
is that he gets killed in prison for something he did not do.
I've been looking into date.
By the way, Tory Lanez recently was stabbed 14 times and is in the hospital. I haven't seen a status update on him yet, but he was stabbed 14 times shortly before this news came out. Y'all think I don't believe in coincidence? I will say this all the time. Something else is going on here, and man, I hope Tory makes it out okay. Hopefully he's okay now, but again, everything is happening for a reason.
Ultimate injustice
Crazy.
Is that he gets killed in prison for something he did not do.
I've been looking into Daystar Peterson's case for almost 6 months now, professionally known as Tory Lanez. And after reviewing the evidence, the reporting, and the legal analysis, I've come to the conclusion that Tory Lanez was railroaded by the former district attorney, George Gascon.
Crazy.
It is true that last week, the New York Post editors reached out to 3 parties, one being George Gascon, Megan Pete's team, and Kelsey Harris. It is also true that Megan's team was the only ones that responded back for that request for comment.
As the attorneys laid out here today, the prosecution failed to produce a single shred of forensic evidence tying Tory to the actual gun. His fingerprints weren't on it. His DNA was later found to be 100% nearly excluded from the gun, as shown in the worksheet that was provided to the defense late on the eve of the actual trial, after making a request for that very document. After trial, looking at this evidence, there is a 0.01% chance Tory's DNA was on the firearm.
Come on.
That's a difficult statistic to equate with the story as told by the prosecution.
All right, now, again, I want to talk to y'all about the stabbing too, because this just happened several days before this was announced. So check this out. And we also have Deanna London seemingly confirming that there was a hit put on Tory Lanez after people in the music industry found out about the evidence of Tory being innocent had been discovered, which is insane. Here's what she had to say about that. Y'all check this out. After over 2 years in prison without incident, Tory was stabbed 14 times. You don't have to believe in conspiracies to see the pattern. And of course, he was stabbed by somebody who was going to be in there for a long time.
Until proven guilty, beyond a reasonable doubt. The timing of these events raised disturbing questions to me, and I think they all should to you as well. After over 2 years in prison without incident, Tory was stabbed 14 times just days after a major national news outlet reached out to Megan Pete's team, Kelsey Harris, and former DA George Gascon about a story on new evidence in this case.
Crazy.
You don't have to believe in conspiracies to see the pattern. When evidence was about to come to light, Tory was nearly killed. So let's stop pretending this is complicated. Let's stop treating this like some cultural war flashpoint. This is about a man, a father, a son, Daystar Peterson, who has sat in a prison cell for over a year based on a case that wouldn't pass the smell test in any honest courtroom. The prison system can no longer guarantee his safety, and that alone should be grounds for immediate action. But combine that with the overwhelming evidence of a botched investigation, and this becomes not just a legal issue, but a morale emergency. Tory Lanez deserves a new trial. He deserves due process. He deserves a pardon. And if
So let me know what y'all think about that in the comments and in the chat. Is this going to play out for Tory Lanez? Again, hopefully he makes it. He's okay. He's recovering, and he gets to go through this appeal process. We get to see a new trial, and maybe could even possibly be pardoned. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments in the chat. Oh boy, y'all. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. What's Amy saying in here? She said, phew, it's getting hot in here. So hot in. I heard in some form of protective alternative living. Okay. Stabbed by a guy who killed a 13-year-old girl. Yeah, the guy's in prison for life. And Amy's got the breaking news here that Tory Lanez was transferred after prison stabbing, not safe in his previous cell. Oh my gosh. Tory Lanez is currently on the mend after surviving a brutal prison attack and now has a change of scenery. Oh, he's getting moved to a different facility. Oh my goodness. As of Thursday morning, we've confirmed Tory was shipped out of California Men's Colony, CMC, to ensure his safety, 3 hours away from the California Correctional Institute, where he was stabbed 14 times, resulting in both lungs collapsing. Tory's attorney, Crystal Morgan, tells TMZ Hip Hop, the Color Velvet artist is doing fine, considering the severity of his injuries, but isn't necessarily happy he had to move to CMC near San Luis Obispo. Recent photos from the inside showed Tory had been building a personal community, but we're told officials could no longer keep Tory safe at the T. As Tory's health improves, his legal team is working overtime to get his 10-year sentence for shooting Meg Thee Stallion pardoned by California Governor Gavin Newsom. Citing newfound and botched evidence abound. Thank you for that, Amy. Shout out to Amy. Yeah, good luck with Gavin Newsom. Psst. Yikes. Either way, we're gonna get up out of here. Thank y'all so much for the love and support. It's amazing. There's 1,000 of y'all in here and have been showing so much love throughout the show. I appreciate y'all being here. You know, we don't miss, so we will be back tomorrow morning. It'll be a quick live stream tomorrow morning, but y'all make sure you tune in. If you haven't yet subscribed, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any time we go live. Thank you to all nearly 1,100 of you that liked the video. It means a lot that y'all are here and enjoying the show and enjoying the platform. I want to give a special thank you to everyone who went the extra mile and sent in the super chat as well. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody. Shout out to Slim Life up in here, always showing love. CPE as well. I appreciate you. Kara Hampton, the major sponsor of today's show. Les Cleaver, my guy. Slim Life New Jersey as well. Amy, of course, my awesome, amazing Amy. Peter Ortiz, the big dog, Mr. Brown, and Nosy Rosie just dropped a super chat in here as well. Thank you, Nosy Rosie, with the super sticker, the $2.99. Thank you for stopping by. I hope y'all have a great rest of your afternoon. Looking forward to seeing y'all tomorrow morning, and we'll be dropping some clips as we go throughout the afternoon as well. Hope y'all have a great rest of your day, and as always, you know what to do. Keep growing, keep pushing, keep it classy. We going. Peace.